on now, squeezes, steps up in the pocket. Elway can run inside the 10. Head first. He flies off the 5-yard line. My goodness.
Rushing floor ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line.
Manning out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning.
The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime.
And welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mundungus Creevy, and I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Glenn, Manic Panic Vampire Red, and Boggins. And you are currently tuned into the 5280 podcast on the MHRT Network. We are a fan-led Broncos-based podcast, filling you in on all things Denver Broncos. I apologize for the name, but Bree said it before we came on the air, and I had to write it down.
You asked what color I use in my hair, and I told you.
And
It's gonna be a mad rush.
Roggins fell out of his seat.
It's going to be like baby formula. Everyone's going to be rushing out to get it. Manic Panic Vampire Red will not be available. We'll be soliciting our friends in Canada to send it over. You've done it, Mike.
You laugh, but it's already a really hard color to get a hold of because it's kind of like a popular, a lot of people like to do the red color, and I have trouble finding it. So yeah, if you do see Manic Panic out there on the shelves, hit your girl up.
There we go.
It's your local Hot Topic.
right alongside Ben.
Dispenser sell hair color.
Yeah.
All right, so there are two pretty serious things I want to cover first, real quick, before we go into any Broncos or football stuff. The MHRT Network, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we send out our condolences, our thoughts, our prayers to everyone with the Texas elementary school shooting. Never okay. That shouldn't be a thing that happens. But in order to not politicize anything, that's about all I'm going to say on that. Just because I don't want to get into that kind of fight. As well, everything that went on with Nazem Kadri and all of the things that were sent to him and his family, that also is not okay. And we should be able to be adults enough to grow up and not say those kind of things. And for anybody who watched the Avalanche last night, that's what you get. Kadri had a hat trick. So jokes on you. So moving on from that fun stuff, there's not a whole lot, but I was able to come up with some topics that I wanted to talk about. And the first thing I want to start it off with is the Broncos are dealing with their own owner situation, but we also have some issues with Dan Snyder, Mark Davis, and Stephen Ross. Do we think that Dan Snyder is going to be forced to sell the worst football name ever of Washington Commanders?
Absolutely. And mainly, I think first of all, it's a very, very unfortunate situation because there's so many other things that he's done that are equally, if not more, messed up. And the money thing is what he's going to end up going down for. And the thing about those other names is I am sure that they are putting all their chips in a basket to try and push Dan Snyder out as well to try to take the spotlight away from them. So I think the Dan Snyder thing is as good as done eventually. But unfortunately, it's not going to be for the same or for reasons that he should be going down for.
Yeah. Well, and do you think the same thing happens if he doesn't screw the NFL out of money?
No, probably
No,
not.
Mike, think of the long history that this guy has of just deplorable actions, a disgusting culture there. But the owners have protected him because they don't want, if he goes down, they don't want the spotlight then to go on them and their transgressions and some of the things that they may have been doing behind the scenes. But the moment they took money out of some of the other owners' pockets, like all of a sudden the attention goes back on Dan. And like Boggin said, I mean, that's what he's probably going to go down for. I mean, it's Al Capone going to jail for tax evasion. I mean, all the other things got overlooked, but they finally got him with something else that didn't equate to what all the other transgressions that we all know that have happened. I mean, there's no discussion about it.
Yeah.
Glenn, I think it's really important that you touched on that. What else does it unravel in a ball of maybe perhaps an unseedy underbelly of what other organizations are doing or could be doing or have done in the past? I think once something like this gets brought to light, it is just a matter of time before it becomes that it's not such a little secret in the NFL. Obviously, the same thing that happened with the emails that were circulating from the Raiders organization, that has ties to a lot of other NFL teams as well, and owners and other people within those organizations, that I think that until it affects the NFL and their profits, obviously it's who we work for, it's who we cover, but there is the aspect that you have to be aware of, that it does happen. And although we aren't privy to that information, more and more will come out, and it's all about what direction the NFL wants to go. And as we've seen just with the forthcoming of contracts to maybe stars who also have some issues in their past, as long as they're bringing in revenue, you're really not going to see that hard press to either suspend or get rid of owners in that same general realm. So it's really interesting to me, but whatever leads to that outcome, I think is appropriate. Whether or not he gets got for all the other stuff, I think this is the push in the right direction. Does it stop it in its tracks, though? I don't think so.
You got. And then there's Mark Davis, which is hostile work environment, right?
Surprise.
It was sexual harassment, I believe it was also what was alleged there.
Okay. And then there's Stephen Ross, which is the whole Brian Flores lawsuit. And didn't Hugh Jackman get it, or Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. After he created the circus, he went down to Miami.
Jackson, the coach. Did he get added, or did he just add his 2 cents into it?
So Hugh Jackson had said that he had the same thing was happening to him in Cleveland, where he was offered money to tank, and something happened behind the scenes where he then wouldn't cooperate with with the investigation. So they kind of said, this is not a credible comment. And so his is out of the way at this point.
Okay. But do we see like a Mark Davis, Stephen Ross being forced to sell as well, or does it have to reach a Dan Snyder level before we get to that point?
Yeah, I don't know.
We've seen what allegations have done in the past. 22 of them. So I don't know. I really don't. It becomes frustrating to me. I think that you could even speak to relative personal experiences when you start thinking, if you make an accusation to somebody, what level that gets taken either serious or whether action is taken forth, especially when you're at that level. Who's to say it doesn't just result in a payout? And does that suffice to everyone? I really don't know.
Yeah, I just don't see it equating to much. Unfortunately, I think they're going to be essentially untouchable until they touch the NFL's money. And then that's when things start building up.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Mike, if the Stephen Ross allegations come to light, I mean, that is a jailable offense.
I take that back. Yeah, that's the one that I think is the most likely to, besides obviously Snyder, that one would potentially go a bit further. The Mark Davis thing, I don't think is going to go anywhere.
Mr. Took Your Soul said it actually has nothing to do with Mark Davis. Mark hired a private firm to look into how the team was being operated, and that's when people started getting the axe. That may be true, but we blame it on Mark Davis anyways because the Raiders suck.
But yeah, Mark Davis's barber still remains employed.
Yeah, let's not pretend like that dude's ever been good at making choices.
Wow. But yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the NFL had a story out on the most impactful trades of the 2022 offseason, and Russell Wilson to the Broncos was not number one. It was Deshaun Watson to the Browns, which I don't agree with. I don't think he's going to have the same impact on the team. Plus, I think he's looking at an 8 to 12 game suspension. So I don't know why he would be more impactful to the Browns than Wilson would be to the Broncos.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, like, I understand that technically we gave up more, kind of, but they also gave up 3 first rounds, and I understand that we gave up 3 players, but it's 3 players who are coming into their last year of their contracts, and haven't performed like extremely well. Like Shelby Harris, obviously the best out of any of them, performance wise, but he's also up there in age. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like Russell Wilson is the immediate upgrade at the quarterback position. Deshaun Watson, you don't know when he's going to play. You don't know what that's going to do to the organization. You don't know what the locker room is going to look like because of it. It's just like a whole lot of unknowns that you do not have. I don't even know who they have for receivers right now. So it's just not like, I don't know. It's not the greatest situation. And as much as I think that Russell Wilson will impact the Broncos offense.
Right.
For me, it's in regards to Wilson, and I'll get to Watson in a little bit, but he not only he's the missing piece, but not only the missing piece on the field, but also culture wise. You know, you listen to the pressers of these guys in the OTAs, and it's something completely different. There's an energy, there's a reliability. This guy is unbelievable. You know, he's calling these guys all the time. He's holding them accountable. He's pulling them into San Diego to get started working. He buys a house within like 7 days of getting traded to the Broncos so he can ingratiate himself to the community. You know, this guy is all in, and that culture change has given us a chance and made us relevant again. I don't know how the Wilson to Broncos is not number one, quite honestly.
It perhaps has to go into fan bases that are not well acquainted with what the Broncos country has been through for the last 5 to 6 years and how much of a 180-degree shift that's been with Wilson coming in. I think that we can all agree that not only the culture and the energy shift has been palpable, but also skill set level from a QB at that caliber, although there may be some question marks as to how he starts the year. And obviously we'll have to see how it plays out on the field. That's the number one goal here. But the change has been, above all else, everything that we needed as fans, what the players needed as individuals, and then what the team and the organization needed at every level. I think it's brought new life to every single person involved. And I agree. I don't think that you can then say that Watson is somehow more of a benefit to the Browns, and then to whether or not he'll even play. Like Mendogas was saying, if it's even just a couple of games, it could be the whole season, which is the entire reason that contract was structured the way that it is. And what a scarlet letter that will be on that organization. I have a lot of question marks around where they thought that was going to go and where that actually leads them. So that at the end of next season, I'd really like to see kind of how we're looking at this exact same question, because I'm almost 100% certain the Broncos trading for Wilson is probably the most, if not one of the most impactful moves this offseason.
Yep. Yeah, and so you've got Watson number one, you got Wilson number two, and then the other top 5 all are related to the AFC West. So number 3 is Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins as an impactful trade, and then Khalil Mack to the Chargers and Devontae Adams to the Raiders. And I didn't really have any issues with those. I questioned the Khalil Mack one just because I don't think he's the Khalil Mack of 3 years ago. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to actually have on the Chargers.
Are we saying Hill is an impact to Kansas City, right? Not like not to the
I think it's more of an impact to the Chiefs and to the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't even know if Tua can get him the ball for that matter.
Oh yes, he can. Didn't you see Ricky said? Of course he.
Of course he can.
I don't want to throw stones, but since Wilson's our quarterback,
I am surprised that they put Devontae below Khalil based on the injury history.
Yeah, I don't know how that's a thing.
Yeah,
especially with the chemistry I guess I don't know if they'll have chemistry. I guess they're just best friends, but they have like chemistry, but not chemistry. You don't know.
Well, Boggins
and Carr,
but they played college together, so
also true. Yeah, good point.
How much of Devontae Adams' success was in an axis around Rodgers?
No, I mean, like, I could see where that would come from, but Devontae Adams is like potentially the best route runner in the league, and is just an absolute monster. So I definitely think he will definitely boost up.
Well, and Rodgers really didn't have anybody else to throw to.
I know that's
with Adams, like he was getting all the yards.
They knew where the ball was going, and it didn't matter.
Triple covered.
Yeah.
So with the Raiders, I mean, he's at least got Hunter Renfrow to take some pressure off.
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller. Don't they have another receiver that's pretty good?
Probably.
I don't remember who it is.
Wait, so with that addition, I have a question off of that then. Does that spur that you feel the Raiders have actually made a ton of progress in the offseason, singularly for bringing on Adams? Like, do you find that that's enough of a shift to kind of push them ahead in the rankings? Or do you think that that's just because you're saying Devontae Adams is one of the best route runners in the league. So do you think his pairing with Derek Carr, I know Boggins is a Carr fan.
I like Derek Carr.
So tell me, how does that matchup kind of feel for you, or should we be concerned?
Yeah, I do. I think so. I think so. As far as like, I think Josh McDaniels, for what he lacks in being like, or what he potentially lacks in being like a good person, or like, like a good head coach, maybe in the personal side, maybe he is one of the best offensive minds in the league, and Derek Carr is also very smart and good at the footballs, and Devontae Adams knows how to get open, and so does Hunter Renfrow, and so does Darren Waller. So I think they are going to elevate on offense. Absolutely. Whether Josh Jacobs decides to return from his whatever, I don't know, maybe, but they also paid Kenyon Drake a ton of money too. So they got.
Didn't Josh Jacobs just get ranked like 31st in running backs?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which one you're looking at, and then also they didn't pick up his 5th year, so I don't know how much they believe.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He fell off a cliff. That's what I'm saying, like a Todd Gurley cliff, but before his 5th year option even came. So like I don't know. It's kind of weird. But
I feel like they supercharged the offense this offseason, but did nothing for the defense. Like, I know they got Chandler Jones, but that's it. I mean, they didn't address any of their secondary or nothing.
But he's paired with Max Crosby, so
that pass rush is going to be wicked, but that secondary is not great. I mean, they have a decent or like a young decent like safety in Trevon Moehrig. That's about it.
But even Abrams, they didn't. I mean, they had 3 first-round draft picks that they declined their 5th year option.
Where did Stephon Gilmore end up going? Did he end up going anywhere yet, or is he still?
I think the Panthers, didn't it?
I thought he was still a free agent.
Hang on, let me check. I think it's Carolina.
But
current team is the Colts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did go to the Colts.
Forgot about that. Yeah, good point.
And they got Foles too. Did you see that?
Oh, ooh. Okay, so let's get into some Denver Broncos.
Do you have a
stuff.
statue of yourself outside the stadium? I didn't think so. Anyway.
I didn't think so.
Hardington High School.
Shut up.
Yeah, that secondary is terrible.
There's not a whole lot of Denver Broncos news, but I kind of wanted to talk about some things that could potentially happen with the sale of the Broncos. Now, there's two big things that were named that could potentially change with a new owner, and one is uniforms. I'm hearing a lot about the blue on blue.
Guys, I've said this before and I was pretty passionate about it. So I just feel like I have to stay on that same route. Is orange is the primary color. A sea of orange is a lot more intimidating than the blue. There's nothing wrong with the blue on blue, but I really enjoy the bright orange. And I think that needs to stay in perpetuity. I get that people want to see change, but why mess with a good thing? It's not broken. I don't understand. We're getting meh.
Ooh.
Way to go, Boggins. That.
Did you just meh that gorgeous color?
I did.
No, that's a bummer.
It looks muted.
No, it's gorgeous. Okay.
I think you did a great job with it.
I'm not saying nothing have to do with mine. Just like I love the color scheme. That would be just like, oh god, that'd be
it
so
makes
hot.
me feel like Miami. Like it looks almost like the muted old school Miami colors.
Which
so Boggins, do you regret not
putting on
that graphic that is circulated everywhere?
Why didn't you watermark it?
No, I just for fun. I didn't care.
Yeah, and then also we're watching Russell Wilson at his house, and it's behind him on the
screen. He's saying that he doesn't care, but he was literally tagging every single post about it with his original post.
That's true. I want people to know, but at the same time, I don't care.
Well, and now you've got the NFL that apparently wants us to wear white away jerseys and blue pants, which is never.
Also, there was a photo.
Welcome home.
Oh, yeah.
There was a photo of Patrick Surtain wearing the white jersey with the blue. Yeah. But those weren't actual football pants. Those were like shorts, like they were almost like cut even shorter, like the spandex or whatever. So I don't technically say that now happened. However, I get it. I get that people want like variety and for them to change it up a bit, but there's something so classic. And here, let me preface this by saying I really enjoy the Seahawks neon highlighter jerseys. So like the more annoying, the better.
Good. Wait, but you just shut down the orange.
Because I didn't know.
It's not bright enough.
The one that I just shut.
I wish they had orange pants, like just head to toe.
Like Color Rush?
Yeah, like the Color Rush, but like in the new, brighter, vibrant orange. I don't know.
Vampire orange.
So late 70s, early 80s, the Broncos had a white jersey, orange pant with the blue and white stripe down the side combo. That was money. I mean,
that Justin Simmons one that was going around was like white with the god, that was so hot. I also would not mind if we could keep the dark blue in orange and we get that Color Rush helmet. That's just the D on the dark blue D.
Oh, I love it.
I just want the D back. That's all I want.
Did you see Seegers' comment? You just
which
crazy.
one?
Bree has 2 colors in her wardrobe. Why are we taking her color palette?
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to pull that up or not.
I didn't, but here we are.
It's a great. Can we show that again? That's a great profile picture.
I was just gonna say, is that Teddy still?
Yeah, I think so. But no, like we never wear the blue jersey white pants anymore either.
Correct. It's
we don't even do that.
That's a Super Bowl wardrobe.
So do you guys just feel it's time to change?
I feel like we're in this mood right now. Everything's changing. Might as well do the uniform.
Might as well do the uniform.
Yeah, and screw all those Wilson jerseys y'all just bought.
Mine's a Color Rush, homie.
Mine too.
So is mine, but they sold me one with a wonky 3 from the team store.
Wonky 3. At least you didn't order a jacket that said Broncos on it. That was a mistake.
Broncos.
Well, Boggins, you should not get your NFL clothes from Etsy.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
So are we wanting uniform change or no?
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
We got to
Which
go back
ones?
to the old logo.
Like old school D with the
yeah.
like mix of colors, or are we talking just changing it to the blue on blue or the blue on white?
No.
Let's go the way of Oregon and just have a different uniform every single game.
Just random colors everywhere.
Perfect.
It doesn't even matter.
I honestly want to go like I like how the Bears uniform is so simplistic that like I want to go back to that where the old Broncos uniform was just simplistic and just with the one stripe and just like and just the D pow right there. It's hot, man.
I got a Walter Payton jersey, but it had a wonky 3.
Okay, just bringing back. No, it really has the new 3 from the New Jerseys on the color rush jersey. Because I bought a youth size and they misprinted the youth, so now I got.
I say there's a return in your future.
I'm leaving that.
I would say so. What I was going to say though is, does putting the old school D logo take away the nostalgia that we all enjoy by seeing that? Like, I feel like if you bring that back, it's no longer this fun like retro. It's now the current. And I think you kind of lose some of that spirit behind that. Because I'm also not a fan of bringing back the old school D.
I personally love the newer logo. That's just me. But
see, this is what you start
the newer logo
goes into. If you start going like a new route, then you getting real deep water. You go like LA Rams, where their jerseys are terrible looking. Sorry for all the fans.
I'm not a fan of the bone color.
Let's go back to that like splat looking horse with like the yellow and brown. Let's go back to that.
Oh, nah, pass, dog.
Wasn't it Brandon Marshall that had like the striped socks and he twisted them?
I did see an updated D with like the newer ish horse in it, and that looks good.
I'm not ready for a logo change. I feel like that's pushing it.
Yeah, I feel like the only change we're gonna get is maybe like color scheme wise, like the blue on blue is permanent or the blue on white or something like that. Yeah, those. Now put them on and twist them.
Terrible towel. What the?
Oh, I like the candy cane look on Brandon Marshall.
We do have the whole Let's Talk Broncos crew in here. We got Zach, Joey, and Bree. They're all in here.
Plug.
Subscribe.
And if we had Cam, we would have had the mainly Broncos too, except we're missing
the other guy.
Well, the problem is Zach wasn't specific. He said LTB, and based on that his avatar, it says Love Teddy Bridgewater.
Hi, Raider Casper. Thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
I was going to say, Raider Casper, we were just talking about the Raiders, and if we thought that the Devontae Adams and the Derek Carr connection was going to be anything good. What do you think? Let us know as we move on to something else.
He's just gonna be like, yes.
Maybe 82. He wants to rename the team, not even just the uniform.
Yeah. What about the Denver football team? Boom.
Can I give a shout out real quick to a little one watching it? Well, I'm gonna anyways.
Yeah,
Hi, McKenna.
Hi,
McKenna.
Well, I absolutely don't think it will suck.
All right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You heard it here first.
Yep. Okay, so the other thing that might potentially change, and this would be big, is the potential for a new stadium. Do we want a new stadium?
Sure, man.
Sure, man.
Sounds great. Like, I don't live there, but sounds cool. Sounds like get like a dome, because it snows there.
Retractable?
No? I don't know. Ask people that live in Colorado. They're probably
I did. She's right there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I am the only person from Colorado.
I've seen it. I've driven by it. It's nice.
What is going to make the people angry? I am all for a roof because there's nothing worse than attending games that are like below 20, below 10 degrees and it's cold and there's a foot of snow on your seats. And I know everyone says, well, that's football weather. And like, I get that, but I am not a fan. I'd rather be super comfortable. I pay a lot of money for those seats and here's the thing, the prices are going to go up regardless with a new stadium, I'd rather be comfortable and dry and enjoy the experience. I would hope that it wouldn't be artificial turf, I think is my one kind of thing that I would throw in there, but a roof would be fantastic. Opening that up on a gorgeous Colorado day. I don't know. I don't want to sit in the snow anymore. And that makes me a bad Coloradan, but I don't really care.
But
you
also,
could be that like older person that goes, "Oh, I remember back in the day when my seat was 3 feet high and I had to swim to it,
and we liked it."
Those were the days.
Both ways, in and
Right,
out.
old Pippi.
But
so, holding like a tiny Yorkie
Yeah.
while she
Yeah. It's just like,
monocle on
like a
one
dead
eye.
one, the one that's been stuffed already. You're just talking to it. Bark back, old Pippi.
How many high school graduates were sitting in a foot of snow this past weekend, Bree? So
it's snowing in May. You never know. There's a comment that says it snows once a season, maybe. There was a season where I swear it was 4 games, and I was like, I can't handle. You're in boots and galoshes and big jackets, and I'm a grumpy old person at heart, and I just can't do it.
So we have $100 to the first person that has a picture of Bree in galoshes. Okay.
I'm gonna change my hair color. We're just going black.
I know
Nobody
the
can
person
find me.
might have a picture. Might go to the same gym as you.
Galoshes are big.
Now you almost think that if we're going with the new stadium, we got to go with a new location, right? They're not going to build in the same
Oh
spot.
God, no.
I would think so.
Because I mean, okay, so let's say that Walton buys a team, right? Is he even going to ask for the city to help pay? He could just pay himself. Like Jerry Jones basically owns his stadium.
I've heard both kind of whispers of no, and if they do, it would be so that there's room for like Ball Arena, and like there's so much room there that like Kroenke owns. If you walk outside Ball Arena, I hate saying that. Every time you walk outside the Nuggets stadium arena, shoot, I'm all over the place. Sorry guys.
Mhm.
But when you walk out there's a lot of space. They could build like a parking garage and kind of buy out all that. What they did with the Rocky Stadium and McGregor Square is really interesting. And I would presume the way that a lot of NFL teams are going is that they would go to the same route. There's just not a whole lot of room downtown. If they were to stay there, they'd have to fundamentally get rid of all of the parking out there and kind of wreck down everything. And they just built new apartments kind of to the southeast or southwest. So it really depends on if there's even room. I don't think there is, especially because it's a 2-year construction time frame. So the only other spot would be east and out towards the airport.
So the new Mile High was built right next to the old Mile High, and then they took that one down. How interesting would it be if the new Mile High were built where the old Mile High was, and then this one got torn down and became the parking lot?
The space that the old Mile High occupied, I think, is just, it was much less than what the new one
I
did.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, and
I will say, as someone who lives in Seattle, and where if any of you have seen what the Seattle stadiums look like, they are all crammed into one little area. It's not great. And parking isn't great either. And that was the first thing when visiting Denver, is the first thing that I noticed at that at Empower Stadium. It's great. There seems like a ton of parking. It's just like in the middle of an open field. Looks fantastic. So in a perfect world, I would say just update the stadium. Can you do that?
Well, and I almost wonder if, like, with the amount of possibilities that there could be for moving the stadium and building a new one, like you could have like a mix of what Jerry did out in Jerry World, where he's got a bunch of like fan experience stuff. You can move the team store out there. You can build your own like hotels or whatever to go with people's, have your own big like complex that you could have with a brand new stadium. There's just so many options, especially when you have a guy that's worth $70 billion.
Yeah. I mean, what he should have done is he should have bought Illich's before the developers did to knock that down and build the apartments, because that would be a perfect spot. Yeah, my favorite exhibit at Jury World is the paternity test exhibit.
Jeez. Oh man. Okay. I'm trying to move on. I can't. So we had we had OTAs yesterday and today. Bree just left. She's like, nope, I'm done. we had OTAs yesterday and today. I'm not hearing a whole lot from OTAs. It looks like it's just a whole lot of basic practice, but Dulcich's hair is just everywhere. Just and like they showed a video of him running a route and he turned and it just everywhere.
That's
it was
like
fantastic.
Is Russell Wilson more of the story?
No,
right now, or is
Dulcich's
hair? That's what it's up there, guys. It's pretty interesting. It's great to see. Great to see.
I think
Are you guys hearing anything from OTAs?
I think there were some comments made about, like we spoke about earlier today, kind of to start everything off, is that the energy there is so different. You're seeing Russell Wilson make these plays and move around the field and scoring drives with the players because they're actually working on scoring plays. And it's kind of exciting to see, right? Fangio wasn't a big fan of that. So you're just seeing a testament to the changes that have been made with the new regime, the new era of the Denver Broncos. And I think that if anything, the marked difference from what you were seeing last season at this exact moment and what you're seeing now is it's being proven now in real time as the players are taking the field. And it's like it's drumming up that excitement that was already there, but you didn't know how it was going to look. And Russell Wilson was kind of looking like he's the new guy out there, running around over at Dove Valley, kind of like, which way do I go? And I don't know, there's something, although I have on occasion said, he's a little canned in his responses and a little not goofy, but Russell Wilson, he's really positive. And he was out there kind of looking like a little goofy. And I think that takes a lot of the trepidation that people were feeling of the stuck up coaching and feeling from last year.
Well, and I kind of feel like we need to get Dulcich some Manic Panic Vampire Red as well for his hair.
Can I deliver it?
Yes.
His hair is it's magnificent. It really is. And I don't want to get tired of talking about it. I'm sure he's going to get tired of everyone asking him about it. It's a bit of a distraction. It's kind of like the belly, but like inanimate. It's very different.
Attractive.
It's the same but different.
I still go back to when Hackett saw it in person for the first time, and he goes, "It's glorious,
glorious."
It is.
Well, Hackett's been taking some handoffs. Have you guys seen that at running back?
Yeah.
So going back to Dulcich, in Russell's presser yesterday, he was talking about all the guys coming in early. And of the rookies, he mentioned Dulcich and he mentioned our friend of the show, Montrell Washington, that they're in there all the time and what kind of hard work they're putting in there. So it's an exciting time. I mean, Albert O, I think, is like, I'm still here, guys. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw someone was talking to me the other day on Twitter about Dulcich potentially being the obvious TE1. I don't see that yet because they pretty much have the same skill traits, but Alberto is bigger and faster, so I don't necessarily see that. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's all about how well you perform at the position. So
it's just the hair. That's all it is. That's
why
people
are getting really excited about the hair. Albert doesn't have that hair.
No,
he has the really hard to pronounce name. So you just.
So Cortland was on today, and he made an interesting comment about how the offense is very similar to the Scangarello offense, which I thought was interesting.
Did it peak it just for the name reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was talking about how where guys were able to make plays, and there was a lot of movement, and it was a total knock on Shermer, and I loved every second of it.
He's just excited because he probably gets to throw the ball again. at some point.
Judy's like, I might get in the end zone this year.
No.
Oh, why do you gotta do that?
We bring people down here.
We
That's what we do.
bring people
This
down.
is the podcast. Reality, folks.
It's all bad vibes.
Yeah,
all bad vibes. Now I did hear some
of immaculate. Never mind.
I was listening to Ryan Edwards and Big Al. I think on the 22nd, when they did like a big 6-hour thing, and they were talking about how Russell Wilson has his own office on the second floor of Dove Valley, and Big Al says he has never heard of that before, and that's his own office where he can go and study the playbook and look at film and all that kind of stuff. He says he's never heard of that before, and that to me that's like something that Peyton Manning hasn't done with how prepared he was. That impresses me a lot. Having his own office on the second floor.
Yeah, that just makes all the sense. Just makes all the sense in the world. It's like that's just like that's the type of dude one that Russell Wilson is. As far as like, okay, so living in Seattle, I have gotten to experience Russell Wilson. Like, I don't know if firsthand is the word, but I've seen a lot of Russell Wilson. And for some people that are like really upset with the corny term, it's not like that big of a, he is corny, but he is an insanely hard worker. And that dude, if he wants a room to get whatever he needs done, there it is. There's your office, my dude. And he's gonna bring Peyton in there. Apparently they've been seeing each other more often now and working together. Here you go. Like whatever it takes for you to not completely, but outside of obviously the head coach, but completely run this offense.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm picturing him like bringing like a paper box in with like pictures of his family and his like red stapler and his like, getting all situated.
Well, I feel like he kind of
nameplate. Russell.
It's like the girlfriend who asked or the boyfriend who asked for like a key really quickly. Like, I'm going to move in. I'm going to have this office. I'm going to stay here. I'll be here. I'll be the last one to leave. I've never heard of something like that, but it's probably not unheard of. It's probably not weird. And like you said, it fits the bill for who Russell Wilson is. Super committed to what he's doing. He's going to make a name for himself no matter where he goes, and he's going to buy in 100%. That's crazy to me that you could just see Russell Wilson's nameplate on an office. Like you just walk in and knock on his door.
Mm-hmm.
So Bree, are you saying that to start they gave him one drawer?
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Now, who has to knock on his door though? Because you got to think that any of the coaches and
everyone
Peyton don't have to knock. Right?
No, they probably do. John Elway probably has to knock. Like the new owner will have to knock. Everyone. It's Russell Wilson, man. You just kind of like. The only one who doesn't have to is probably Peyton Manning.
I said, hold my calls.
Yeah.
KB82 brings up Brandon Langley. Wants to know our thoughts on Brandon Langley and his mollywop of that. What was that, TSA guy or United guy or whatever? Now, obviously, we don't know the whole situation. I haven't seen the entire video, but that guy kept coming. He would not stop.
Yeah.
I think my favorite comment about it was that they couldn't believe that that Sal from oh my gosh, all right, I'll think of it.
See, now that was a terrible comment because you didn't know where you were going with it.
Oh my gosh. I was just having a total brain
I did see this one
the senior moment. That's what it's
I
called.
did see this one really funny edit though, that had him when he got knocked down onto the whatever that thing is called, the conveyor. He just kind of like his body just kind of kept going, and then through the luggage rack, and then out into the baggage claim, and then on into the actual, and like loaded into the airplane.
Right. So my favorite comment was about they said that was a terrible punishment to give Sal from Impractical Jokers for losing that episode.
We waited for that.
Yeah.
You let him continue. You didn't.
We'll edit it in post. We'll edit it in post. It's fine.
That's on me. So, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot going on in Broncos news, so that's about all we got. just kind of a fun little episode about what might happen. But that is going to about do it. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can know when we post and when we go live. Also, make sure you tune into our other podcast, the Wild Wild West podcast on Wednesdays, 7:30, 6:35, 34:30. The Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast every Thursday at 7654. And Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill every Friday at 2, 1, 12, and 11. That's a lot more difficult to say than 7654. But again, that does it for us. We will see you later. Go Broncos. Bye-bye, everybody.
Let's Talk Broncos.
Yeah, shout out Let's Talk Broncos. Nobody else. Bye.